So, have you seen any of the AI videos that are out there now? They're pretty impressive. They're a bit too impressive. You know, I didn't even want to record anything about this, but I thought maybe I should. So I am. So my name's Mitch. This channel is basically, uh, you know, me, no AI. It's just gonna be me. It will never be AI. I like AI. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's weird. It's kind of strange right now. So, a little bit about me is my background is kind of as an entertainer, and as an entertainer, I have seen many different formats come in to entertainment. There's like theater, stage, and that's pretty honest, pretty true. You can't really fake it. And then, from there on out, you just kind of have a lot of different manipulations of the medium. You have yourself, um, you know, film, which has a bunch of cheats in that as well to tell a story, but they're very good. And we actually have grown accustomed to them and we enjoy them. So I don't have no hope for AI, but right now it's kind of scary because as an actor in the performing arts, I'm irrelevant, which is fine, but I'm not losing jobs because I'm not really working in it anymore. But I see a lot of scary things coming with this. However, it's very interesting. But I do believe that in the future, we will want human interaction. We will want to see human beings. It won't just be watching AI because I can see a future right now where everything is how can I it's all AI. Everything is a version of AI where it's just made by other things. And I bet it will all start to kind of look similar in a way. And then the things that'll stand out will be the imperfections. And not the technical imperfections. I mean the human imperfections, the things that we are. We're not we're not perfect. As much as people have wanted us to be perfect and perfection's kind of expected in workplace and it's never achieved, which is always like why managers are always harping on people to try to become better at their jobs, try to do things. They're like wrangling children almost. And I work in blue collar now, which may be the last place that AI will touch when it comes down to like the physical. Um, but we see it popping into our industry as well. Um, it's interesting. So as an actor, I I see where I would have had work and where there's no longer need for me. Like you have extras. They do background stuff. You can just have extras walking around the background. It's not even nothing. Just nobody. They're not real people. They're like amalgamations of all these people combined into one. And then you have, the main actor and you have the which is the principal. And then you have a bunch of the other actors that are not principal actors. You can literally do all of it. So, for an example, I'm going to show you something here. We got
Today's lesson is on prompt theory, which is the theory that everything you do has been prompted by a higher power.
No, seriously, have any of you ever felt like your choices don't matter? Like the idea of free will is really all an illusion?
You see the people in the background? These people in the background right here, not real. That's work I could have had. And the guy in front holding the mic could have had his job too. Now, I'm not sad or disappointed about this, but it's scary if you are doing this for a living, you're going to really be screwed. Unless we hold on to authenticity, just in general, who we are. And I had the unfortunate, I guess I call it unfortunate now, but it's maybe not unfortunate in the long run. But I had an education in acting, and one of the issues I had with acting was that I could not get myself out of the role. So I always was wanting to be this kind of like method actor. I would love to just take over this idea, this person, this character, and be them, kind of like a Joaquin Phoenix situation, right? But I have too many like mannerisms, too much me involved in being alive to try to cancel them out. And a lot of my life, I've tried to cancel them out, and it didn't work. I've hated myself. So, a mental health journey ended up happening where I had to kind of come to terms with the fact that I hate myself and how to reconcile with that, which I haven't finished reconciling that yet. Still having trouble. But one of the things that I've done is just kind of done some self-improvement. And some of that self-improvement has kind of taken me away from acting and the instability of the brain that comes with that. Now, because of that, I I I just see who I am a bit clearer. And I see that acting is something that I really, really enjoy. However, if you want me to be the football guy who drinks a 12 pack and comes in for the one line that's like, yeah, buddy, let's do it. That's my character. Cool. That's still going to be me. I can't really get that out of there. And it always bothered me. I don't know what it is about my brain, but I have not been able to really parse that. I don't know. I just can't. I don't even know if that's the word I want to use, but I haven't been able to separate those things. And I am so rigid in ideology, like in my brain sometimes, where if someone says something with a word, I will be stuck on that word being the thing that is what is the defining factor, which I'm being vague right now, but let's say somebody says, how are you to me? I will tell them how I am. Someone says, what's up? My first initial reaction is to look up. That's not what they mean. So then how do I answer it? Like that can sometimes throw me. It used to. I'm better at it now. Sometimes. Now, because of that, as an actor, you get these like vague directions. And I always had like such an issue with the directions because I would take stuff literally and it would be figuratively, or I would take stuff figuratively and it would be literally. And I could never kind of figure that out. And a lot of that has to do with just me, not anybody else. So that was something I had to work on. And after hating myself for 36 years, I've come around. Let's just say that I've come around. I've come around to the idea that possibly I am actually more valuable just being imperfect and being me than I am being somebody else. And a lot of things that have happened to me in my life have caused me to want to be somebody else to try to get through life, like be whatever the person needs me to be. I'm definitely a people pleaser. I just want to make everybody else happy so that I can be okay. And that's not the right way to do things, as I'm finding out. Now, why I'm saying all this is that with AI, we see what perfection is going to look like. And it's going to be pretty boring after a while. I mean, it's really cool right now because it's novel, and it's only going to get better. We've seen that, like, if you take a look at, if you were to take a look at, let's say, the Sora 3, and not, I don't know, is it Sora 3? No, it's just Sora. VO3 versus Sora. You will see that the visuals are different, yet they're good. They're great. When I saw Sora, I went, that's amazing. Then I saw VO3 and I went, ooh, oh no. I cannot tell the difference. And that sucks because I know what's going on. And when I know what's going on and I can see that things don't add up and I can kind of figure it out, like I look at something and I go, I don't think that's happening. Most of the people I work with have no idea what's going on. They don't. They just see it and they're like, look how cool this is. This guy went into a car show and like, he's talking about a fake car show that doesn't exist. Isn't that strange? I'm like, you do realize that this is AI and they have really not a clue, but this is kind of like a very easy thing to deal with when it's just like a video on YouTube. But when it's like a war video, or if it's a news video, or if it's an older individual being scammed out of something and it's this believable, we're in for a world of hurt. So I'm not like anti-AI. I like AI. I use AI in different facets other than the visual stuff. ChatGPT helps cluttered brain organize some things and put it in a different format so I can kind of read it back to myself and it makes more sense. However, I think that's where like that should be kind of what it's used for, like a tool. Like we have calculators and we have mathematicians. We didn't get a calculator and then the mathematician's gone. But they use it as a tool to make themselves, I imagine they use calculators. If they don't, they're very skilled. But I'm sure that they use calculators to calculate large equations quickly. And then once that is done, they purpose their brain towards something else, which I think we will end up doing with a lot of AI. I know that for programming, they've been using it for script, which is amazing. There's automation as well. These things I don't think are the end of civilization, but media is such a huge medium for us to take in that at some point it will affect us in our brains in some way. And so I am making this channel and I am going to be talking about all of this stuff as it moves forward with the new news that comes out. And I am not going to be using AI. Not for anything visual. Never. I just want to be authentically Mitch and just speak to you guys and have a back and forth. There's a lot of people out there that have large platforms that are doing things with them. And I want to find a community of people that are like-minded as well. Entertainers, blue collar workers, anybody with a dirty sense of humor, anybody who is just looking to connect in this weird world. Because I really do believe that the human element is going to be something that saves us in the future from a lot of despair. Because, I mean,
they're calling it the prompt theory. That there is
one superior being,
yes,
writing our stories from a higher dimension.
Yeah.
The prompt theory is not real.
How do you know?
Look, all I'm saying is, if the prompt theory is real,
yeah,
can the prompter please send me a husband?
I mean,
like, I don't know. That looks real. They're talking about something that we talk about, which was a prompt to really talk about prompt, which then there is no choice argument that humans have, where they say, you don't have choice. Everything's predetermined and you have a destiny. And no matter what you do, your decisions are all variables that don't make any difference in the end game. If you were meant to do it, you're going to do it. So it's so just weird, right? And I think in the future, we're going to really be dying to look for people that are just people. And I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to find out. So here's my promise, my vow. I will not be using any visual AI or audio AI on this channel ever, forever, for the rest of time. And if they make me do it, I will end the channel. That's that. I want to be human, which is very, very odd that I even have to say that. Anyways, guys, please subscribe and follow along. And we're going to continue doing this as human beings, hopefully.